Alright, just got out of Angry Allen. 90 minutes, no interruption. John Krasinski. Definitely held my attention throughout the show. Thought it was pretty good overall. This is the second one-person play that I saw. What is it? Call Me Izzy. You know, I think Izzy was had a little more, totally different feel to it, you know? Maybe this one got me, maybe because that was my first-person show of the season for me, or my return to New York. I was perhaps a little bit more harder on it. I don't know. Maybe it's because that one was a woman, this one was a man. I just felt that this play was a little bit better. Definitely held my attention the whole time. John did absolutely fantastic. You know, for a monologue where he's essentially giving a speech throughout the show. Definitely held my attention. Wasn't until like the last 10 minutes of the show that they brought a second character out on stage who was John's son. Yeah, I feel like for a reflective piece that's like an analysis of the modern age with the internet and everything, and how we're copy and pasting all of our opinions from videos, and sort of tapped on the social media type of influence that we have, and the role that influencers are playing in our lives. And I thought it was pretty well done. You know, the thing is about these one-person plays is, you know, there's only so much you can do with it. It's like yes or no. And again, I'm not like fawning over it or anything, but I just think that John couldn't have done any better for the role that he had. I thought the play itself was worthwhile being put on, and you know where this thing ended up going. I want to say it sort of was predictable. I did have the thought in my head throughout, but this is the first time I've ever seen John on stage, and I just want to see, is he, you know, someone who can hold his end in live production. And he certainly can. He certainly did. I think as a show, I'd have to rate it probably in like 82 or something like that. But in terms of John's performance, I give it a 10 out of 10. This is the second stage theater. I guess they must have sold it, whatever they're calling the Seaview or something like that. I didn't know the second stage had actually sold this thing. Seats there are a little bit tight, but yeah, I mean, what can I say? I think it was really good. If you're looking for see one of these The Office stars on stage, then yeah, you can't go wrong with this thing. You know, I still recommend that, you know, it's like something with an ensemble or a cast or whatever has the ability to touch you a little bit more emotionally per se, but this did a pretty good job. I'm glad I saw it. And yeah, let's say like it's an 82. Is it worthy of having, in this case it's an Off-Broadway show, is it worthy of having a stage over here? Sure. Yeah. Pretty good. Good job. You know, there was a lady sort of near the front of the show, because John's character is talking to the audience, or at least, you know, you think he's talking to the audience. And she keeps responding back like she's at a comedy club or something, which he totally wasn't expecting and really shouldn't be done. The fact that he was addressing us and looking at us and, you know, giving like a monologue or a speech explaining, you know, where he's at in his life and what's been going on inside of his head, I thought it was well done. But yeah, that lady got super annoying. Like, who are you to think that you should be opening your mouth in the middle of a live production? And he actually had the comment like, oh yeah, that's pretty interesting. You know, should have had one of the ushers get on their hands and knees and approach and say, hey, be quiet, lady. John was, he was role-playing the roles of his ex-wife as well as his girlfriend, and he managed to bring those characters to life. So that was pretty interesting. You know, as he's speaking on behalf of them and emulating them on the phone call and stuff without, you know, personifying them or trying to actually get into another character. I feel that, you know, he held his own, really, you know? If you compare it to like the picture of Dorian Gray was very distracting. All the character changes and everything, you really had to make a huge effort to keep up with everything. But the way that John acted this guy through held the attention, and personified all the characters so that as if you would think they were actually there. The script didn't actually call for him acting the role or playing the role of these women per se or anything like that, but just through the role of like a narrator. Not even like a narrator, it was just more like emulating conversations. I felt like I could see those characters, even though they were sort of like throwing up images of the characters on the screen. Again, it would be his wife and his daughter. And what the show was about, it was about him bumping into an internet personality by the name of Angry Alan, which I guess they're saying is sort of like an Andrew Tate reminiscence type of thing. That's pointing out the problems of modern society regarding the female rights movement having taken things a little bit too far, and men stepping back into the picture into their atypical roles. And from this point, I'll give some spoilers. Where it ends up heading to is it's a text. So he sends this video that he finds that he's getting like addicted to his list of friends or whatever, and also to his son, which he's divorced from his wife, and his son is a couple hours away or so, and they've had this like an estranged relationship. And he got really excited because he sent this Angry Alan video to him, and he's thinking he's going to be on the same page. Well, what ends up happening, like I said, I found it to be a little bit predictable, because they were insinuating that something is wrong, and the thought that went in my head was that what could be wrong here is that he's going to be transitioning to be a woman, and that is exactly what what his son Joe brought to his attention, that he was becoming a they them. And throughout the show, John had a really like comedic, playful demeanor with us, but then with that conversation with his son, he was really able to bring out the anger and the rage inside of him, and I think he portrayed that brilliantly. And again, as sort of predictable, his son really wasn't too surprised by by his response, and then left the house, and it ended on a note which is like to be reflective. I don't know what the intention of the playwright was, or where they stand politically, but it didn't have like a preachy vibe to it where it was trying to push us one way or the other. It literally was just telling the story for what it is, and I could sort of buy that it had a right-winging narrative to it, push, which I would obviously be in favor of. When the bomb was dropped about his son becoming a they/them, identifying as they/them pronouns, it really did suck the emotion out of me, and I felt that, and so I think as a work of art, I think the playwright did a great job. I think John did a great job, and overall, I think it was a really good one-man play. It's like I said, it's always strange, because for me to have like a one-person play in order to give it like 100 or to really get up there, I can't even remember any roles like that have really done it. There just have to be so much like brilliance of the story being told, and then mesh that with. You don't have to play multiple characters or anything, but you have to give me that depth that would make me be sort of like in awe of your ability to pull this off, But I think for how the playwright wrote it, I think that everything was executed quite well. So, good job, John.